Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's TheSketchMonkey here. I'm back here once again at Winslow BMW because I can't stop coming back here because you have such cool cars that I need to review. This is of course the 2023 BMW M8 Competition in all black. Black outside, black wheels. We do have sort of a brown interior. So what we're gonna do in this video is, you know the drill. We're gonna have a look at this. I think this is one of the best, 100% one of the best looking BMWs on sale right now. Not sure how the next generation M8 series is gonna look like, if it's even gonna make it. But we're gonna have a look at this front end, the side, the rear, maybe tweak a little bit of details in the front end of this car. And then we're gonna have a look at the interior, and then we're gonna take this car for a drive. And keep in mind that this is faster than a Ferrari 488 Pista in the quarter mile. Before we dive into this gorgeous design, let's have a look at some of the basic spec and tech of the M8 Competition. So under the hood, we have a 4.4 liter twin turbo V8, 617 horsepower and 553 pound-feet of torque. 0 to 60 is done in 2.5 seconds with a top speed of 190 miles per hour. And you have an 8-speed automatic. Fuel consumption sits at around 15 city, 22 highway, and the base price for an M8 Competition is about $130,000. Alright, so starting with the front end design of the BMW M8 2023 model year, I think this front end, it's absolutely stunning. It's a traditional BMW design where you have the traditional sense of where you want all the elements to be. You have a kidney that, instead of being stretched vertically here, is being stretched horizontally, and that's what we want to see in a BMW, at least me, because especially in a coupe like this, you want to have the front end look wide and menacing. And looking at the headlights here, you have the yellow Competition daytime running lights in the middle, making this look just super menacing and aggressive. I love that. So the top half of the front end has the traditional BMW graphics in it. You do have the camera mounted right here in between the nostrils of this car, and the spokes or the bars inside here themselves have a design that follows the lines of the hood into the grille, and then almost at a 90-degree angle goes downwards. I love the design of the grille itself on the BMW M8. Looking at the lower section, this is also very typical BMW M, to have these intakes in the side. This bar, in previous models, in the E39, E46, this bar was angled in this way. Would be interesting to see what that will look like. We might do a quick redesign on that. But overall, I think this front end, this is more what BMW should be going for, just modernizing the old classic layouts of the elements in the front end. All right, so let's do a quick redesign of the front end of the M8 just for fun. I do think this is, as I said, a beautiful design, and it doesn't really necessarily need a redesign, but I'm gonna do that anyway. So for example, have a look at the grille here. The outline in the corner sitting further to the lower part of the grille than to the top part. We can play around with this angle here of the grille a little bit, see how that affects the front end. It's gonna mess a little bit with the headlight here, because you have the same angle here as you have here. So these two needs to be parallel with each other. So that means that we need to redesign the headlight as well. Down at the bottom, let's just try and see what happens if we make this angle that we have in E39, in E46, M5 and M3, by just turning that lower part into a more smiley face, and just for fun, see what that will look like. Overall, I think BMW has done a fantastic job with the front end of the 8 Series. We also have the 50th anniversary badge on the hood, this being a 2023 model. Coming around to the side view of the BMW 8 Series in general, it has this gorgeous GT coupe lines to it, with the roofline going in a continuous curvature into the rear end. Absolutely stunning. We also have some muscle over the rear end. Might want to change that a little bit sharper in the front end. Same thing here, long hood with the A-pillar. Look at the positioning of the A-pillar and the direction of it. If you continue it down through here, it's gonna go exactly in the center of the front axle, and that's what you want in a good proportioned coupe like this is. Talking about the wheel and tire setup here, you have 20-inch both front and rear, which is kind of unusual for BMW, usually having a stagger setup. 275 width in the front end, very wide for front end tires, but you have 285s 20s in the rear. And I do think if you like black all around a car, this kind of suits the M8 Competition to have the black wheels here. I would personally switch these out to something more colorful or less dark, so you can actually see the design of the wheel itself. I think going with this all black body, I think bronze or satin bronze wheels would look absolutely stunning on this design. Overall, these proportions of the 8 Series I think is one of the best looking coupes on sales right now. There are a couple of things though. One thing in specific that I would like to play around with in this case. First of all, let's check out the line flow here. We have a line cutting almost in the middle of the body here, dipping down slowly. I'm not sure if the camera picks that up. I'm gonna make sure you see that. Then we have a line here at the bottom, carving out some volume that we want in cars like this to have them look more nimble. And we also have a proper side skirt at the very bottom here. So this is the area that I would like to switch out a little bit and just play around with. So let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. So you see this line right here, very soft and smooth line. What I would like to do here is to play around with that and have it be a little bit sharper and maybe have a bit more of a curvature to that area right over the rear axles, because this is a GT car, and what I like to have in GT cars like this is a planted rear end where the power pull is being pushed to and propelling the car forward. We need to have it look very planted in the rear, so playing around with that could be a fun experiment. Coming around to the rear end of the BMW M8, and I'm gonna just jump straight to the point here. There's nothing in the rear that I would like to redesign. I think it's a fantastic looking rear end with the taillights stretching very horizontally, exactly like we want in the front end, with the grills making the car feel wider. We want to do the same thing with the graphics here, and I think BMW did that with this dynamic looking taillights. We do have a thicker part on the side of the taillight, which then becomes thinner as it closes in to the logo in the middle. Very dynamic and very much BMW. Now, if there is one thing that I would change in the rear end, it is this lip spoiler here. I think it looks a little too small. It looks like you shrunk it down and it doesn't stretch it too far into the side of the rear end. So maybe extend this a little bit, but that's about it for the redesigns of the rear end. The lower part looks absolutely fantastic as well, with these Quad M Sport exhaust pipes, right symmetrical like this, with a proper diffuser in the middle looking clean. We also have the M8 badge itself being blacked out on this M8 Competition. So overall, guys, the exterior design, if I were to pick one favorite view of this, is very, very hard, because I think it looks good from the front, side and rear, just as good in all angles. But if I have to pick one, I think I'm gonna go with the front view in this case, actually, because it has that traditional BMW face that everybody loves. Welcome to the interior of the 2023 BMW M8 Competition, and I love this interior because you know why. We don't have the same big screen that we have on 2024 models and some 2023 BMWs. Instead, we have a nice 12.1 inch gauge cluster and a 12.3 inch infotainment screen here that feels pretty well integrated. It even has a curvature back there to make it nicely integrated in the rest of the dash. The gauge cluster itself is super useful because it's all digital. I love the graphics that we have here. You can choose whatever you want with the Sport Plus settings that you have here with this setup button in the middle. Moving down further on the center console here, look at these vents and how well they are integrated in the design. And the thing is, they look like normal vents. So when I feel these, I expect them to be a little flimsy, but this being a BMW, you can still have a design like this that's pretty traditional in this sense and still have a nice quality feel to it, because these feel a little bit, they have a bit of a resistance to them, which I love, adding that premium feel to everything in the interior. Same with the vent control. If you want to open it or close it, it just feels solid. It feels like you're actually moving pieces in the background, and that's what you want in a car like this. Then you have this long bar of buttons for the AC controls and so on, the fan speed, the temperature. Down here you have the presets for the radio with the volume control. Moving further down, you have the beautiful M8 Competition badge right here with the carbon fiber lid for the wireless charging and 2 cup holders. We can close that back up to have the same nice clean design in this interior. Moving to the center console, down here we have the gear shifter, and this is, I'm sure if you've been in a new BMW, you've used to this setting here. I've talked about this in a lot of M cars recently. You have the gear lever, of course, being a typical BMW of this time, with the settings for the gearbox. You have the park button here as well, and some buttons for the camera, traction control on and off. If you want the engine on automatic shut off at red lights, which I always turn off. And you have the big start button being separated from the rest of the button, very easy to find that. Then you have the button for the M mode, the setup, and the exhaust with the parking brake right here as well. And if you want to use the touchscreen, as you know, you can use the touchscreen here, or you can use this rotary dial to figure out what it is you want to change here in the setting. Moving further down the center console, you do have this split armrest with a pretty large storage compartment right here in the middle. You even have a small little lamp and a USB-C with a 12-volt outlet inside. Looking up here in these beautiful lights that you have up top, these are details that I appreciate that designers put into the interiors, and I feel this type of design is kind of going away when you have styling in the small details, and that's what I want in a premium car like this. Beautiful lights, and you also have the world's smallest or thinnest sunshades right here in the ceiling. No sunroof on this one because we have a carbon fiber roof, which of course you want to pick a carbon fiber roof over having a sunroof. The rest of the dash looks super clean. We have the vents on the side here as well, and of course a proper glove box situated right where you expect it to be. These seats and this color with this black exterior, I think it works to have a brown interior like this with the M8 lit up in the headrest. These are the type of seats that I like in an M car, not the super aggressive carbon fiber bucket seats. They are a little bit too uncomfortable. They're comfortable once you're in them, but getting in and out every single day, I actually prefer to have seats like this that are a little bit dialed down and more towards the GT feel of the interior. So let's talk about the steering wheel here. This is the same steering wheel that you find in a lot of M products from BMW. I love the thickness of it. I do like that we have the M stitching colors on the inside of the steering wheel. Regardless of what type of trim you choose for the rest of the interior, the M stitching on M cars is always going to be visible here on the steering wheels. Then you have the configurable M1 and M2 settings, which you can set up as you want and have them be quickly applied with the paddles on the back side. I would like to have the paddles, as you know, a little bit longer than this, but they're fine for what you use them for, and they have a nice short distinct click to them. And you have the heated steering wheel button right here in the center with the M logo down low, with the settings for the radio and stuff like that on the right side, and the cruise control setting on the left. Looking at the doors, really stunning pattern in the doors themselves with some leather, and you also have some metallic finishes on the door, kind of bringing the natural with the industrial feel into one single element. I really like that. Now this does have a back seat that I'm sure you could fit in. If you pull the passenger seat all the way forward, you might fit in there. I'm not gonna try to go back there because I don't want to mess anything up in the interior. Me personally, being 6'1", I don't think I could fit back there very comfortably, especially not behind my own driving position, because I would not have any leg space at all. So with that said, let's fire this up, this 4.4 liter twin turbo V8, and let's hear what this sounds like. Alrighty guys, setting off in the 2023 BMW M8 Competition, 617 ponies from a twin turbo 4.4 liter V8, and you have 553 pound-feet of torque. I have it set up now all in Sport Plus for the engine, the chassis, steering is in Sport, brake in Sport as well. So let's see how this handles out on the road. Oh, the noise is so good. You can't beat a V8 sound. It's just so nice to hear that rumble under the hood. Suspension feels super tight, like it's flexing right now. Whenever I go over any crease in the road, I can feel it in the chassis of the car, and I like that. That's what you want in a Sport Plus setting. Oh, it definitely goes. Keep in mind that this is quicker than a Ferrari 488 Pista in the quarter-mile time, which is crazy to think about. This is a front-engine, 2-ton GT coupe, and it's still quicker than the 488 Pista in a straight line over the quarter mile. Nuts. All right, so let's pop it into manual mode and let's feel these shifts. And let's go. Wow. You know, the way I can describe this thing is it feels like the best of two worlds, and those two worlds are an exotic car mixed with a muscle car. That's what this feels like when you step in on it. Wow, the speed is just insane how quickly you get up to speed in this thing. And with each shift, you can hear this boom, like this bass boom for some reason. I'm not sure why, but it just adds to the dramatic feeling when you're driving this car. Oh man, it is so quick. The paddles feel super quick as well, the gears. Let's just do one more lap around this circle. Just feel that power once more. Oh man. Yeah, the BMW M division is still alive and kicking, that's for sure. Wonder what the next M8 or 8 series will look like, because this looks so traditional BMW. I love this design. It's, you know, the front end specifically, it just has all the graphic layouts exactly where you want them to be. And I think that's what makes this special to me. These booms when you're shifting. I don't think I've ever heard that before. I don't know if it's artificial, pumped in, or I don't know what it is, but it feels like a bass boom from a speaker or a subwoofer when you're shifting gears. A very unique sound. This is a car that I would love to just keep in manual almost all the time. It's very hard to drive this like a normal person because it's so much fun to just step on the gas all the time. This is definitely one special BMW, and I really hope that they don't, I don't want to say screw up the next generation 8 series, because this looks so good. Just keep some of that tradition that we're used to seeing from the BMW in the next generation as well. Man, it's so quick. Like, a car this size is not supposed to move like this. It just, physically, it doesn't feel right for this car to be this quick at 2 tons and at this size. But still, BMW M, they managed to, you know, German engineering, they managed to figure it out somehow. Let's get it down to second gear and let's floor it one last time here. So I think my neck got a workout today, so I don't have to think about that when I go to the gym. Anyway, thanks to BMW, Winslow BMW here in Colorado Springs for providing this car for me to review. If you're interested in this one or their full inventory of BMWs and pre-owned vehicles, go check out them at winslowbmw.com. I'm going to link that down in the description. And thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you. If you enjoy these type of videos, you know what to do. Hit the like button. It takes half a second. And if you like these videos, subscribe to the channel. I will see you in the next video.